Speaking of pedophiles, HBG has a Trent Laws. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. Yeah, he's in the headlines. So speaking of pedophiles, Trump working his magic all right, says the Sarcasm headline. This is from Trent Loos, Loos, and he's got himself a big old hat on, and he's got himself one of them mustaches, you know, what's his name has said it's not gray. Think of Sam Elliott. He's got himself a Sam Elliott mustache, but it's not gray yet.
Oh, yes, that guy.
It looks like,
always in the westerns.
Yeah, he's got himself one of them big old hats that ain't been turned into a cowboy hat with the brim and all this pulled it up, but it's still flat where it'll actually prevent rain from getting all over your shoulders and going down your back and shit. You know, the way a hat should be worn. Anyway, that's what he looks like, old Trent, the author of this, and this is going to be him writing me, but his opinion probably going to jive with mine pretty close. President Donald Trump, the magician, said, "Hey, farmers and ranchers, look at this hand and not the other one." However, I hope that we all look in both hands because his America First plan is really just disappearing act. For those who have missed it, on October 16th, he announced his like magic plan to reduce the cost of beef to consumers. Of course, 3 days later, he confirmed that he will be seeking beef imports from where? We just talked about him. Argentina. Bribery, baby. Yeah, beef imports from Argentina in the name of helping consumers. Let's not mention that the current cattle prices, when adjusted for inflation, are not much different than 1990. But on the other hand, the Trump team has announced bold action by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to reduce the threat of China buying more farmland in the United States. Yeah, so his billionaire buddies can buy it. Let's look at the rhetoric from the USDA on this announcement. The USDA is the U.S. Department of Agriculture. More broadly, this bold action plan articulates key activities that will promote agriculture and economic prosperity through securing our nation's farmland, identifying gaps in the supply chain, or GAPes, and other security vulnerabilities, defend the foundations of agriculture and food by enhancing research and security, evaluating all USDA programs, and ensure they put America first. And number 3, bullet point, strengthening domestic agriculture productivity through safeguarding plant and animal health, protecting critical infrastructure, and promoting American agriculture products, U.S. and abroad. Oh, bunch of big words. Oh, yay. But what are they doing in reality? They're just doing the opposite. It's the old shell game. We talk a good game and do the exact opposite and say we're doing something else. Yeah, because you're all stupid. You believe us because you voted for us. And you don't want to be wrong about voting for us, do you? You don't want your neighbors to think you were wrong, do you? Oh my God, that's the worst thing in the world, being wrong. USDA has launched a new online portal for farmers, ranchers, and others to report possible false or failed reporting in compliance with respect to the Agriculture Foreign Investment Disclosure Act. Further, the portal will receive and review claims for adversarial foreign influence on federal, state, and local policymakers with respect to purchase of U.S. farmland, if business dealings and other facets of U.S. agriculture supply chain submissions may be accepted anonymously, or contact information may be provided by appropriate follow-up by the USDA. That is the whole entire posting from the USDA. We're going to rat out foreign people buying land. Let's see what's really happening. First, I'm aware that China purchased assets in close proximity to many U.S. military bases. In fact, I have been to 2 of them. Clearly, this is a problem. Beyond that, our national security, quite frankly, I am more concerned with what's happening to land control from D.C. than I am from Communist Party China. We continue to fight easements to control land for transmission lines and pipelines at an unprecedented rate. Once you give control of that land to a third party, you have just lost it forever. Nowhere does the USDA talk about stopping China from being able to purchase easements. Of course, this also involves a little bit of a magic show. The Trump team is still allowing, through December 31st, 2026, tax credits for wind and solar developments that take land out of food production. Ironically, the components to build these developments rely on China for manufacturing. My phone rings nonstop with people asking for help to prevent this nonsense from happening in their money. It's really hard to consider the Trump policies as America first when the land with abundant resources and infrastructure has, for 2 years in a row, nearly $50 billion in agricultural trade deficits. Those in the beef business can easily blame drought for the reduction in the U.S. cattle inventory that has led to increased beef prices in the store. I ask you to look at what has happened to the beef business in Argentina in the past 4 years. Back to Argentina we go. Drought there has led to a reduction of cattle inventory, causing an increase in Brazilian beef imports, which we'll probably be doing pretty soon too, to Argentina. Argentina's importing their own beef. And I'm so confused. Argentina has to import beef, and we're going to import beef from Argentina. Makes a lot of fucking sense. This world is so fucked up. Don't look now, but Brazil has just surpassed Australia as the #1 importer of beef to the U.S. So my question is, actually, it should be exporter of beef. He's got that backwards. So my question is, we are going to be getting Brazilian beef in boxes labeled from Argentina? Think about that. We're not getting... Exactly, right? Brazil kills a cow, right? They process it in Argentina, send it to the United States. Is that what's going on here?
I guess that's what the EU... I mean, that's funny enough. That's what I was talking about with the EU. That's what they do.
When he said America first, he meant South America. Neither of those options allows for the America first banner. I just told you, man. Neither of those options for the South America first banner to wave any longer. Incorrect. South America has America right in its title, right there. You're wrong again. You got 2 things wrong right there. I'm sorry, dude. You're getting 2 things wrong in a row. That's not so cool. Consumers love good American beef. I love Argentine beef and Brazilian beef better than American beef. Sorry. It's grass raised. We got feedlot beef. Consumers love what's good American beef, which is a lie. And farm and ranch families deserve to get paid for high quality products they produce. If that was true, I would agree. Encouraging your urban neighbors to buy direct from producer or demand U.S. beef when they go to the store. People can pay $1,800 for a handheld tracking device. I don't know what that means. They can pay $25 for a good steak in the store so beef producers can build back their herds and keep the operation afloat. What the hell was that non sequitur about? This guy's confusing me. What's $1,800 for a handheld tracking device? What does it even mean? What does it even mean? Is that for a phone?
Where your
Is that what he means?
Going? So you know where your meat
No,
goes?
I think he's talking about.
Back?
I think he's talking about smartphones. I'm like, I don't know. My smartphone cost me $112. I don't know who's paying $1,800 for a stupid smartphone, but you're obviously not the same damn person that's complaining about $25 steaks. Anyway, he makes another incorrect statement. If people can pay $18 for a handheld tracking device, that's just nonsense. They can pay $25 for a good steak in a store so beef producers can build back their herds and keep their operation afloat. I'm not here, in all seriousness, I'm not here to keep farmers afloat. What's my benefit to keep them farmers afloat? I can't think of it. They produce feedlot beef. Feedlot beef. That's what they produce. Argentina, Brazil produce grass-fed beef. What's my incentive to these guys that are polluting the planet with cattle farts concentrated in one place in a feedlot instead of all over the prairie like they do in other countries? Why should we help them? So I'm really kind of confused why we should care about farmers and their little, price support, little, gravy train, more or less. Dude, raise your beef, stop depending on price supports, compete in a free market, and stop acting like America owes you a living. Anyway, this guy says, let the market take care of itself, and Americans enjoy protein that comes from generational caretaking earth, which is not true about beef cattle farmers at all. Not that shipped in on a boat from far-flung operations in the world, which is actually beef that is raised more environmentally sound. So I guess this guy here gets about a C- to a D+ for his article. So great mustache aside, I agree with about half of what he said. All right, there you go. There's your story.
All right, we've got our interview, our article grade in, guys. Our first one of the week. The grade D.
Yeah,
You do not pass your English exam. The song that reminded me of is Cheeseburger in Paradise, but of course, sarcastically.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Buffett.
Sarcastically.
Jimmy Buffett.
Anybody who's living in the U.S., how ironic of it is that we're giving Argentina beef so that they can make it into beef, cows, so they can make it into beef and sell it back to us. But at the same time, probably
not only that,
evicting Argentinians from the country by tossing them into a mysterious jail where they'll never see the light of day again.
Oh, not only.
Yeah.
We're not just loaning them money so they can spend it. They're loaning them money so they can buy beef from Brazil and ship it to us instead of us just buying the beef from Brazil.
Cheeseburger in white supremacy paradise. There you go.
Oh yeah, don't forget Argentina. Sheltered
we will
more
buy your brown people beef, but we don't want you to be in our country. Please leave.
Argentina's
Actually,
been
don't please leave.
Nazis
They're not saying it nicely at all.
45.
They just punch him in the face and then kick him out.